3.52 trillion naira and local government 3.88 trillion naira. Oyedele says the reforms generated an additional 3.12 trillion naira in revenue and 11.85 trillion naira through borrowing. He says the federal government recorded about 20.4 trillion naira in additional resources. It's up now.
Work in progress. We'll give you the final score when you see income levels rising faster than prices. When you see the middle class in their millions making money. When we see economic growth at least 7%. When we see our GDP heading towards 1 trillion, then we do 10/10 because we don't want to be complacent.
President Bola In similar vein, the Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAC) has distributed 3.7 trillion naira in July revenue among the federal, state and local governments in the country. The committee attributes the increase in revenue sharing to improved collections from oil and non-oil statutory revenue, with gross statutory revenue rising to 4.35 trillion naira in July. The federal government received 1.146 trillion naira, while states get 943.352 billion naira, and local government councils receive 673.649 billion naira. A further 243.478 billion naira goes to benefiting states as 13% derivation revenue. Our President Bola Tinubu is presiding over a meeting of the Federal Executive Council (FEC) at the State House in Abuja. Is the first time since June 29. The meeting began with the national anthem after the President arrived at the Council chamber at about 2:30 p.m. It is being attended by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, Head of the Civil Service Didi Watson Jack, National Security Advisor Nuhu Rabadu, Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila, ministers and other senior officials. The Council observed a minute silence in honor of former Finance Minister Abubakar Alhaji and former Science and Technology Minister Professor Tona Isong, who died on July 30 and July 15 respectively. We'll bring you details of the meeting in our subsequent bulletins. Our President Bola Tinubu will address world leaders at the 81st United Nations General Assembly in New York on September 23. Tinubu is scheduled to speak during the morning session on the second day of the high-level debate, where he is expected to deliver Nigeria's national statement. The president is also expected to attend meetings and side events on climate action, sea level rise and pandemic preparedness. Nigeria's permanent representative to the UN, Jimo Ibrahim, confirmed Tinubu's attendance. Ibrahim says Tinubu will use the gathering to showcase his administration's reforms and seek international support for international support for regional border policing. The president may also meet US President Donald Trump on the sidelines of the assembly. Presidential candidate and activist Omoyele Sowore has questioned President Bola Tinubu's absence at the signing of the 2027 peace accord. Speaking on RBN's morning edition, Sowore said the president should lead by example by attending an event focused on peaceful elections.
The most important person, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, the man in charge of national violence. And when I say national violence, I'm not saying that he's violent. That's a conversation for another. I know he is. But if you are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, you are technically in charge of violence, because all the armed forces are going to carry out violence, whether it's legal or illegal. It was not there.
Sowore questioned whether the absence suggests a lack of confidence in the peace process. He said government's priority should be the safety and protection of citizens. And our presidential candidates and national chairmen of political parties have signed the first national peace accord ahead of the 2027 general elections. The accord commits political actors to peaceful elections and responsible conduct ahead of the campaign period set by the Independent National Electoral Commission, which has commenced today. RBN's Zainab Ibrahim was at the event and now reports.
Can hand you your pledge sheet.
As Nigeria prepares for another election season, political leaders are being urged to put the interest of the country first. At the signing of the 2027 National Peace Accord, presidential candidates and political parties committed to peaceful campaigns, urging Nigerians to focus on issues rather than violence, hate, and division.
We don't even need to sign this. We're seeking an office where we should be exemplary. You can't answer His Excellency without being an excellent person. So that process that will make you to answer His Excellency should be excellent.
The National Peace Committee says the revised accord is guided by the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and other electoral regulations. Political parties and candidates are also warned against the hate speech, fake news, intimidation, and inflammatory statements that could threaten the peace. The Inspector General of Police was represented at the event by Deputy Inspector General of Police, Umar Shehu, who joined other stakeholders in calling for a peaceful electoral process.
The language we use during campaigns matters. The issues we choose to emphasize matter. The manner in which we respond to political disagreements matters. A political campaign should be a contest of ideas, policies, programs, and competing visions for future of our country.
Representing President Bola Tinubu, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, George Akume, reaffirmed the government's commitment to a peaceful, credible, and transparent election. For many Nigerians, elections are about more than politics. They are about their safety, livelihoods, and future. As campaign begins tomorrow, political actors have been urged to choose issues over insults, peace over violence. The real test of this accord begins when the campaign starts. From Abuja, Zainab Ibrahim, reporting for RBN News.
Now, Nigeria's 2027 election campaign is officially underway. From today, Presidential and National Assembly candidates can begin openly canvassing for votes ahead of elections in January. And while the political maneuvering has been going on for months, the opening of the official campaign window means the battle for voters now begins in earnest. Vanessa Docotry joins us now from the venue of the APC support group campaign in Abuja.
The numbers may have settled the winner of the Osun governorship election, but for these election observers, the bigger question is whether the environment within which the election was held.
An independent review of the 2026 Osun State governorship election conducted by the Peering Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa, Parker, found that the polling unit results published on INEC's IREF portal reproduced the same winner at virtually the same margin. But the group says there are some issues. RBN correspondent Mati Fati brings us up to speed with the findings.
The numbers may have settled the winner of the Osun governorship election, but for these election observers, the bigger question is whether the environment within which the election was held reflects the criteria for a true democratic process. The executive director of PACA, Ezenwa Nwagu, explains that beyond the accurate vote count, there are three major issues that almost jeopardize the process.
We have an independent, the independent review that we have confirms Osun governorship results. It flags vote buying, low turnout, and certain access gaps.
Nwagu addressed the FCT minister's statement on helping the president secure Osun State.
I'm sure that if the president wanted to win Osun at all costs, I would be involved.
He was not in Osun, so he's doing some chest thumping for himself. He doesn't pose any threat. You are the one. I said he's chest thumping. He wants to ingratiate himself as the numero uno of enforcement, election enforcement. But if you give him that credence, then he lives up to it.
He says Osun was a fiercely contested round, noting that Governor Adeleke was largely underestimated.
Behind the facade of dancing and all the rest of them, the guy had his boots on the ground. The politicians, both the opposition and position were hardworking, and that's why it's a keenly contested election.
He adds that Osun is not an accurate measure of what the 2027 poll would look like. Following the rhetorics of Osun state elections being a litmus test for the 2027 general elections, Parker is arguing that that is not true, given the unique demography of the 2027 poll. It is calling on INEC and security agencies to strengthen their processes ahead of 2027 and also on the presidency to allow the democracy he fought for once thrive. In Abuja, Mati Fati, RBN News.
You're on to the RBN News Hour. Still to come, Wike moves to reclaim FCT green space. Details in a moment.
Every street has a story. Every struggle carries hope. Every dream deserves a voice. We walk where the people walk. We honor our culture. We tell the stories that matter. This is not just news. This is your story, your voice, your network. Real Broadcasting Network. We the people.
From our global news center, we bring you the latest happenings on the real news.
Thank you for staying tuned. Our Nigeria's 2027 election campaign is officially underway. From today, presidential and National Assembly candidates can begin openly canvassing for votes ahead of elections in January. And while the political maneuvering has been going on for months, the opening of the official campaign window means the battle for voters now begins in earnest. Vanessa Docotry joins us now from the venue of the APC support group campaign in Abuja.
The campaign window may be open, but not every party is rushing immediately onto the campaign trail. The APC, for example, says it is still finalizing its nationwide campaign program, and we also expecting campaign plans from other parties. Behind me is a support system, a support group for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu, taking advantage of the campaign opening. This scene is also playing out across several cities in the country as Nigerians gear up to witness a flurry of campaign activities going forward. In Abuja, Vanessa Docotry, RBN News.
Meanwhile, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has received a certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, following his victory in the governorship election. The certificate was presented by the Osun State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Oluwatoyin Babalola, at the Commission's headquarters in Osogbo. Adeleke polled 511,067 votes to defeat his closest challenger, APC candidate Bola Oyebamiji, who scored 444,815 votes. Adeleke won in 19 of the state's 30 local government areas, while Oyebamiji secured the remaining 11. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has ordered the immediate closure of illegal car dealership lots operating on green areas, parks and gardens across Abuja. Wike says the move is part of efforts to tackle flooding and protect areas designated for recreation. He has directed the FCT administration to monitor the affected locations and prevent further misuse. The minister has ordered a task force to enforce the directive. He also directed an investigation into civil servants accused of approving the use of green areas for car dealership. Officials from the Parks and Recreation, Environmental Protection, Traffic Management and Urban Affairs Departments have been summoned to explain their roles in granting their approvals. Meanwhile, efforts to reduce flooding and protect public infrastructure in Abuja have led the FCT administration to begin demolishing structures on waterways. The exercise started on Mississippi Street in Maitama, targeting buildings and other structures identified as obstructing water channels, while the government says the demolition is necessary to restore waterways and enforce development regulations. Affected residents and business owners are already counting their losses. RBN correspondent Vanessa Docotry visited the demolition site and filed in this report.
Demolished structures is to some an avenue to pick up scraps, but to others like Sylvester and the owner of Espresso, a major setback to their business. This is where the demolition happened, and you see directly in front of the waterway there's still a fence standing, and just a part of that structure was demolished and they are rebuilding presently, while the part of the cafe has been completely demolished, part of it, and then the other side is still standing. At Mississippi Street in Maitama, Abuja, the sound of demolition has replaced the bustle of everyday commerce. The Federal Capital Territory Authority has begun removing structures identified as standing on or obstructing waterways. This is a move the authorities say is aimed at restoring drainage channels and protecting the capital from the consequences of blocked waterways. However, for those whose livelihood depend on these structures, the operation means disruption, lost investment, and the uncertainty over what comes next. Sylvester says the demolition has affected his livelihood.
Most of us, we are graduates. We're graduates. We've applied for government jobs. No avail, nothing. You get? And so the only opportunity we had, applied for a private enterprise, and then they gave it to us. Wiki has taken it from us.
But the FCT administration says the exercise is not about targeting individual businesses.
I'm going to bring those houses down. Any house that's found on the channel, water channel will go down.
For the government, the priority is clear. Waterways must remain free of obstruction. At Mississippi Street, the demolition may clear the waterway, but it has also opened another difficult conversation about development, livelihoods, and who bears the cost of enforcing Abuja's urban plan. From Mississippi Street, Maitama, Abuja, Vanessa Dockery, RBN News.
Protecting citizens' personal information must be a priority for governments at all levels. That is the message from the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, NDPC, as it brings state officials together to strengthen data governance. Our correspondent, Princess Alabi, who was at the NDPC workshop today, now reports.
The Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, is calling on state governments to strengthen the protection of citizens' personal information as Nigeria expands its digital economy. Speaking at an NDPC workshop bringing together key state officials, National Commissioner Dr. Vincent Olatunji said Nigerians leave digital footprints through everyday activities.
For every click you make, you are leaving behind what we refer to as a digital footprint. Anytime you go online to do one thing or another, you are leaving something about yourself.
The Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Engineer Nadungu Gagari, said trust is essential to Nigeria's digital transformation and called for stronger data governance.
Trust is the bedrock currency that powers it all. Without a secure and privacy-compliant environment, citizen engagement stalls, investment slows, and digital progress is compromised.
The Deputy Governor of Kano State, Murtala Sule Garu, described data protection as a responsibility to citizens beyond mere regulatory compliance.
To ensure that such information is handled lawfully, responsibly, and securely. The implementation of the Nigerian Data Protection Act is therefore not merely a matter of regulatory compliance. It is an important component of responsibility, transparent, and citizens-centered governance.
Ultimately, the goal is to ensure that citizens can share their information to access essential services without putting their privacy and security at risk. From the Army Conference Center, Princess Alabi, RBN News.
You're still on to the RBN News Hour. Still to come, Lagos set for 2026 Isheshe Day. Details after this moment.
Jesus. My brother, see road now. If na Lagos now, traffic go don dey. No go anywhere. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, na city gate be this. Where you go see before you enter Abuja. If you enter Abuja and you never see this city gate, my brother, na Cameroon you go dey. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. Ew. My brother, Abuja life too soft. After work like this, now here they come sit down. Then they see fine things that will be sonorous in my spirit. Now why I love Abuja with this? Unity for inside the diversity. Now what did they take no Abuja for? Now why I love Abuja? You see this place for my back? Luxury on another level. You feel the waka inside. You don't know who you go meet who will change your life. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. But the real reason will make me like Abuja. Now because of real 99.3, where if you say, who they choke mouth on top of real talk, and not really people, and all of us go gather together to take for choke mouth on top of really matter.
From our global news center, we bring you the latest happenings on the real news.
Thanks for staying tuned. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSN, is calling for greater confidence in the country's petroleum and gas sector, saying Nigeria has enough gas to meet domestic and industrial needs. Speaking at the PENGASSN Summit, energy and petroleum experts said the challenge is not gas availability, but inadequate infrastructure, investment and effective utilization of the country's resources. The stakeholders urged Nigerians not to panic over reports of gas scarcity, calling for more investment in infrastructure and policies that will ensure available gas reaches households, businesses and industries. Now, Lagos State will on Thursday host the 2026 Isheshe Day with more than 3 million people expected to join the celebrations. The state government has declared the day work-free for public servants, political appointees and others. The celebration marks the culmination of a week-long program of traditional activities. The Lagos State Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Idris Aragbe, says the celebration goes beyond a public holiday to providing an opportunity to promote Yoruba culture and indigenous values. Isheshe Day has been observed as a work-free day in Lagos since 2023, following a request by the Lagos State Council of Obas and Chiefs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that a new batch of 83 Nigerians will arrive at the Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Lagos today via South African Airways. A statement by the ministry spokesperson Kimebi Ebienfa says the returnees are expected to arrive in Lagos Wednesday night. According to the ministry, the latest cohort of returnees is being facilitated through the kind intervention and sponsorship of air tickets by public-spirited private individuals whose generosity the federal government acknowledges with profound gratitude. The development follows the earlier conclusion of the government's voluntary repatriation program, which saw nearly 1,490 Nigerian citizens repatriated from South Africa amid rising Afrophobic attacks and anti-foreigner sentiments in the country. Meanwhile, the South African consulate in Lagos has denied reports that it has stopped issuing visas to Nigerians due to ongoing anti-migrant protests in South Africa. South Africa's Consul General, Professor Bobby Morrow, said Nigerians who met the country's visa requirements will continue to receive visas without discrimination. Morrow also announced the introduction of an electronic travel authorization, ETA, to modernize the travel process. According to him, the digital system will allow travelers to apply using their mobile devices, reducing paperwork and making the process easier and more efficient. And that ends the RBN news for this hour. But before we go, here's a recap of the major stories. The federal government has said fuel subsidy removal and other reforms have saved 15.8 trillion naira over the past 3 years. We also told you that Nigeria's 2027 election campaign is officially underway. And the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, NDPC, is calling on state governments to strengthen the protection of citizens' personal information as Nigeria expands its digital economy. Thank you for staying with us on the Real Broadcasting Network. Stay informed with more stories on our website at www.therealmediang.com. Also download the RBN app on Google Play Store and Apple Store for iOS devices. You can also follow us across all social media platforms at Real Media NG for real-time updates and in-depth coverage. I'm Fanem Kouano. Good afternoon.
From our global news center, we bring you the latest happenings on the real news. Waiting for the news? Network. See it, record it, and share it with us via the free Real Broadcasting Network mobile app for iOS and Android. It's simple. See it, record it, and share it to see it make news headlines. It is Real Broadcasting Network. We the people. We know that you can't always wait for the news at the top of the hour. Don't worry, we got you. Check out the latest news headlines on our website, therealmediang.com. Real Broadcasting Network. We the people. Real Media, on radio, on TV, and online. A part of Real Broadcasting Network.
Let's go! Jesus. My brother, see road now. If na Lagos na traffic, we don't do. No go anywhere. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, na city gate be this. Where you go see before you enter Abuja. If you enter Abuja and you never see this city gate, my brother, na Cameroon you go dey. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, Abuja life too soft. After work like this, now here they consider there's the see five things that will be sonorous in my spirit. Now why I love Abuja with this? Unity for inside the diversity. Now what did they take to know Abuja for? Now why I love Abuja? You see this place my back? Luxury on another level. You feel the work inside. You don't know who you go meet who will change your life. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. But the real reason will make me like Abuja. Now because of real 99.3, where if you say, who they choke out on top of real talk, and real people, and all of us will gather together to take for choke out on top of real matter.
Every street has a story. Every struggle carries hope. Every dream deserves a voice. We walk where the people walk. We honor our culture. We tell the stories that matter. This is not just news. This is your story, your voice, your network. Real Broadcasting Network. We the people. Every street has a story. Every struggle carries hope. Every dream deserves a voice. We walk where the people walk. We honor our culture. We tell the stories that matter. This is your voice, your network. Real Broadcasting Network. We the people.
Waiting for the news at the top of the hour? Don't worry, you can now get the news as it breaks. Download the Real Broadcasting Network free mobile app for Android, Play Store, and web to get breaking news alerts as the news breaks. Also, get more detailed perspectives on all major news reports when you visit our website, realmediang.com. You can always set the agenda here on the Real Broadcasting Network. See it, record it, and share it with us via the free Real Broadcasting Network mobile app for iOS and Android. It's simple. See it, record it, and share it to see it make news headlines. It is Real Broadcasting Network. We the people. We know that you can't always wait for the news at the top of the hour. Don't worry, we got you. Check out the latest news headlines on our website, therealmediang.com. Real Broadcasting Network. We the people. Real Media, on radio, on TV, and online. A part of Real Broadcasting Network.
Let's go! Jesus. My brother, see road now. If na Lagos na traffic, we don't do. No go anywhere. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, na city gate be this. Where you go see before you enter Abuja. If you enter Abuja and you never see this city gate, my brother, na Cameroon you dey. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. Ew. My brother, Abuja life too soft. After work like this, now here they come sit down. Then they see fine things that will be sonorous in my spirit. Eh? Now why I love Abuja with this? Unity for inside the diversity. Now waiting they take no Abuja for. Now why I love Abuja. You see this place for my back? Luxury on another level. You feel the waka inside. You don't know who you go meet who will change your life. My mother, this is why I love Abuja. But the real reason will make me like Abuja. Now because of real 99.3, where if you say, who they choke mouth on top of real talk, and really people, and all of us go gather together to take for choke mouth on top of really matter.
Every street has a story. Every struggle carries hope. Every dream deserves a voice. We walk where the people walk. We honor our culture. We tell the stories that matter. This is not just news. This is your story, your voice, your network.
Welcome to RBN Marketplace. I am Bellama Ikiriko. Let's look at today's top stories. The federal government says its economic reforms have generated 20.4 trillion naira in additional resources. And Dangote Refinery secures $1 billion backing as it moves closer to a major IPO that could bring more Nigerians into the ownership of the business. Also, Nigeria is introducing unique digital postcodes for buildings nationwide, a move that could make deliveries, emergency response and everyday business easier. We'll give you all of the details, but before that, let's begin with our big money story. The federal government says its economic reforms have generated new resources, strengthened the economy and prevented deeper fiscal challenges. Presenting the Nigeria Reform Scorecard, Finance Minister Taiwo Oyedele says the subsidy savings generated 15.8 trillion naira, while the federal government recorded 20.4 trillion naira in incremental resources. Let's hear from Taiwo Oyedele.
Give you the final score when you see income levels rising faster than prices. When you see the middle class in their millions making money. When we see economic growth at least 7%. When we see our GDP heading towards 1 trillion, then we do 10 over 10 because we don't want to be complacent.
In addition to all that he said, federal government was deliberate in ensuring that all the claims and obligations by the states and nationals were being paid as much as possible, to the extent that the fiscal condition of the states much better.
Now, moving on to still our big money story, we're going to move over to another big story. Could ordinary Nigerians soon have a chance to own a piece of one Africa's biggest energy business? Now, this is the biggest story behind Dangote Refinery plant IPO after the company secured $1 billion underwriting program. Now, this includes a $60 million private placement already completed with another $400 million commitment for the proposed public offering. For the average Nigerian, the key question is simple. When the shares are offered, will ordinary investors be able to buy them? A successful IPO could bring more investment into Nigeria's capital market and give retail investors an opportunity to own a stake in the refinery. Now, it could also support the refinery's growth and create opportunities for businesses connected to the energy sector. For now, Nigerians will be watching to see whether this major business opportunity will truly open its door to everyday investors. And that's the big money story making waves today. Now, let's move from big numbers to what's happening in the market and what Nigerians are paying for in everyday goods. It's time for Market Watch. Now, let's take a quick look at prices across selected Lagos markets, starting with grains. A derica of imported short grain rice at Ajah market is selling for about 900 naira, very affordable I would say, while a pint of Sabo market in Yaba goes for 4,250 naira. For white gari, prices range from 1,000 naira at Oyibo market to 2,000 naira at Ajah market. Moving to oils, we have 750 milliliters of local groundnut oil and palm oil at Ajah market are both around 2,000 naira. At Oshodi market, we have 5 liters of King's vegetable oil is going for 18,500 naira, up by 54.2%. While 25 liters of palm oil at Inyana Paja is going for 47,000 naira, down 13%. For tubers, a medium-sized yam at Epe market is going for about 2,300 naira. Sweet potatoes range from 600 naira per kilogram at Ile Ekpo to 1,000 naira at Sabo market. While in Yabo, and also in Yaba, and finally, vegetables, a kilogram of tatashe is about 3,500 naira at Oyibo market and 3,000 naira at My 12. While Shambo ranges from 3,100 naira at My 12 to 5,000 naira at Agege markets. Now, the big takeaway is that prices can vary widely depending on where you shop. So before you fill that basket, it may pay to compare prices. And those are the latest prices from the market. Now, let's bring it closer to home and look at the issues directly affecting your wallet and your everyday spending. It's time for money and your pocket. Now, for many Nigerians, retirement is supposed to be a time to enjoy the money saved during their working years. But for some retirees, delays in pension payment can turn that expectation into financial stress. That is why the latest payment by the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, known as PTAD, matters. Now, the agency said it had paid 3.82 billion naira in pension arrears to affected retirees under the Defined Benefit Scheme. Let's hear more on this package.
For the union makes us strong. Victory, there is victory.
For thousands of retirees, timely payment of pensions can determine whether they can afford food, healthcare, and other basic needs. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf says pensioners deserve to receive their benefits after years of service, describing pensions as a right rather than a privilege.
The pension is not a privilege. I am saying it again, it is not a privilege. It is a legitimate right, it is legitimate entitlement, and through years of committed service.
The governor spoke in Abuja during the annual assessment summit of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, where he also commissioned the Comrade Godwin Abumisi Pensioners Legacy House. Director General of the National Pension Commission, Omolola Oloworaran, assured pensioners of the Commission's commitment to strengthening the pension system and supporting retirees' welfare.
You have a very good partner in PENCOM. We will always champion your cause.
Nigerian Labour Congress President Joe Ajaero also called for the introduction of the national minimum pension, saying workers should not retire into poverty after dedicating their productive years to national service.
We are going to table demands, not just national minimum wage, but also national minimum pension.
Pensioners welcome the commitments, expressing hope that they will translate into improved welfare and timely payments of benefits.
This hall now, we are using it's an event hall now, and we are using it for so many purposes. It creates opportunity for the union to generate a lot of revenue.
While pensioners celebrated the commissioning of the Legacy House, they say the real success will be measured by sustained improvement in their welfare, including prompt pension payments and better living conditions for retirees across the country. From the Pensioners Legacy House in Abuja, Stella Carlo, RBN News.
Still a report regarding your money in your pocket. We have heard a lot about Nigeria's new tax reform. But beyond how much government collects, there is another important issue: trust between taxpayers and revenue agencies. Let's hear more on this.
What exactly is Tax On Board? In simple terms, the Tax On Board provides taxpayers with a channel to seek redress when they feel unfairly treated by tax or revenue authorities. CEO of the Office of the Tax On Board, John Nwabueze, says Nigeria is among the 9th country globally to adopt the Tax On Board mechanism. This makes it part of a growing international approach to protect taxpayer rights.
While these mechanisms remain important for determining substantive tax liabilities, there was a gap for taxpayers who experience administrative procedural difficulties in dealings with revenue authorities.
For businesses, particularly SMEs, stakeholders says fairness, transparency and trust are essential to improving voluntary compliance and reducing the cost of doing business.
The CAC serves as a critical gateway into the formal economy through the registration and regulation of companies, limited liabilities partnerships, limited partnerships, business names, and incorporated trustees.
The stakeholders are calling for stronger collaboration among revenue agencies, digitalization, and clearer communication to make tax administration more accessible. Beyond the policies and institutions, one question remains: does the ordinary Nigerian understand what tax is all about? Do they know what they are required to pay? And where to seek redress when they are unfairly treated? Zainab Ibrahim, reporting for RBN News.
Now over to Explaining segment, where we break down business terms to make it comprehensive and simple. Now, you have heard that the Nigerian stock market gained billions of naira in market capitalization. But what does that actually mean? Now, think about the house. If you own a house worth 50 million naira, that is its current market value. If the price of similar house rises, your house could also be worth more on paper. It works in a similar way with companies. If a company has 1 million shares selling at 100 naira each, its market capitalization is 100 million naira. Now, if the share price rises to 120 naira, the company's market capitalization becomes 120 million naira. So when you hear that the stock market has gained hundreds of billions of naira in market value, it doesn't necessarily mean that same amount of cash has entered the market. It simply means share prices have risen, increasing the combined value of companies listed on the exchange. And in simple terms, market capitalization is the current market value of a company based on its shares. And that's it on Explain It, breaking down the financial terms you hear every day, making them look easy to understand. And this is a wrap on RBN Marketplace. Stay informed with more stories on our website at www.therealmediang.com. Also download RBN app on Google Play Store and Apple Store for iOS devices. You can also follow us across all social media platforms at The Real Media NG for real-time update and in-depth coverage. I am Belema Ikuriko. Up next is sports with Sheyi Bamishile.
Jesus. My brother, see road now. If na Lagos now, traffic go don dey. No go anywhere.
My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, na city gate be this. Where you go see before you enter Abuja. If you enter Abuja and you never see this city gate, my brother, na Cameroon you dey. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. Ew. My brother, Abuja life too soft. After work like this, now here they come sit down. Then they see fine things that will be sonorous in my spirit. Eh? Now why I love Abuja with this? Unity for inside the diversity. Now what did they take no Abuja for? Now why I love Abuja? You see this place for my back? Luxury on another level. You feel the waka inside. You don't know who you go meet who will change your life. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. But the real reason will make me like Abuja. Now because of real 99.3, where if you say, who they chook mouth on top of real talk, and not really people, and all of us will gather together to take for chook mouth on top of really matter.
Every street has a story. Every struggle carries hope. Every dream deserves a voice. We walk where the people walk. We honor our culture. We tell the stories that matter. This is not just news. This is your story, your voice, your network. Real Broadcasting Network. We the people. Every street has a story. Every struggle carries hope. Every dream deserves a voice. We walk where the people walk. We honor our culture. We tell the stories that matter. This is your voice, your network. Real Broadcasting Network. We the people.
Waiting for the news at the top of the hour? Don't worry, you can now get the news as it breaks. Download the Real Broadcasting Network free mobile app for Android, Play Store, and web to get breaking news alerts as the news breaks. Also, get more detailed perspectives on all major news reports when you visit our website, realmediang.com.
All right, it's sports time. Welcome to RBN Sports Today. I'm Sheyi Bamishile. Top of the headlines this evening, Welsh FA Chief Executive Noah Mooney calls for Infantino resignation. And in tennis, Konyisola Ajayi set for Diamond League action this weekend. And our tennis Kyrgios suspended after positive cocaine test. And now catching up with the top story this evening, Football Association of Wales Chief Executive Noah Mooney has called for FIFA President Gianni Infantino to step down. Mooney said Infantino should resign following the controversy over plans to sell stakes in the World Cup and other competitions to private investors. Meanwhile, Wales had already withdrawn support for Infantino's re-election bid earlier this month. Mooney believes the episode has caused harm to football and that the FIFA president should now leave the role. And our Premier League chief executive, Richard Masters, has given an update on Manchester City's 115 charges. Masters admitted the Independent Commission's verdict is taking longer than expected, saying he understands the frustration but cannot provide a timeline. He further indicated that the Premier League must follow its process and allow the hearing to reach its natural conclusion. City were charged in February 2023 with multiple alleged breaches of financial rules covering the period from 2009 to 2018. The club continued to deny all the charges. Meanwhile, a final ruling is still awaited more than 18 months after the hearing concluded. And now the 2026 Ikogosi Marathon returns on Saturday, October 31, 2026, with a 17.5-kilometer road race expected to attract about 8,000 runners from Nigeria and other countries. According to the organizers, Ekiti State Governor Biodun Yebanji has reaffirmed his administration support for the event, underscoring the state government's commitment to initiatives that advance youth development, promote sports tourism, encourage grassroots sports, and stimulate economic activity across Ekiti State. The 2026 edition is expected to build significantly on the success of the 2025 race, which attracted approximately 5,000 runners from Nigeria and other countries, further strengthening the Ikogosi Marathon's growing profile as a major road running and sports tourism event. And now we're set to go on a short break. It's the RBN Sport Today. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Jesus. My brother, see road now.
If na Lagos now, traffic go don dey. No go anywhere.
My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, na city gate be this. Where you go see before you enter Abuja. If you enter Abuja and you never see this city gate, my brother, na Cameroon you dey. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. Hey. My brother, Abuja life too soft. After work like this, now here they come sit down. Then they see fine things that will be sonorous in my spirit. Eh? Now why I love Abuja with this? Unity for inside the diversity. Now what did they take no Abuja for? Now why I love Abuja? You see this place for my back? Luxury on another level. You feel the waka inside. You don't know who you go meet who will change your life. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. But the real reason will make me like Abuja. Now because of real 99.3, where if you say, who they choke mouth on top of real talk, and really people, and all of us go gather together to take for choke mouth on top of real matter.
All right, it's the RBN Sport Today, and it's good to know you're still with us. And now, time for some transfer stories. Aston Villa have completed the signing of Japan goalkeeper Zion Suzuki from Parma. The transfer is reported to be worth around 35 million euros. Suzuki has been capped by Japan and featured at the World Cup. Is viewed as a long-term option between the posts. The move comes amid uncertainty over Emiliano Martinez's future at the club. And now we head to London now. Chelsea forward Joao Pedro has signed a new long-term contract with the club. The Brazilian has committed his future to Stamford Bridge until June 2032. The deal includes a salary increase and an option to extend beyond that date. Pedro has established himself as a key part of Chelsea's projects since joining from Brighton. The new agreement underlines Chelsea's long-term plans for the forward. And now to Manchester. Manchester United are close to signing midfielder Carlos Baleba from Brighton and Hove Albion. The club have made an offer of around £60 million plus add-ons. Baleba has agreed personal terms and is preparing to travel for a medical. The 22-year-old Cameroon international will become United's third midfield addition of the summer. And now finally, the big news here. Paul Pogba has left Monaco after the club terminated his contract by mutual consent. The former France international made just 6 appearances last season following his return from a doping ban. Pogba thanked the club and said representing Monaco was an incredible experience. He's now a free agent and is attracting interest from MLS sides. All right, big one on the local scene this evening. We have the big news concerning the Congo Sea, but we're moving away from that story to this big one. Toby Amuson has been confirmed for the Atlas Series. The Nigerian world record holder in the women's 100 meters hurdles will compete at the all-women's professional track events in London and New York later this year. Atlas takes place in London on 18th September and New York on 2nd October. Amuson will line up in the 100 meters hurdles as she continues a strong season on the Diamond League circuit. Still talking athletics, this evening, Konyisola Ajayi returns to the Diamond League spotlight this weekend in Silesia. The Nigerian national 100 meters record holder lines up in Poland on Sunday. Ajayi faces a star-studded field that includes world champion Oblique Seville, Olympic champion Andre de Grasse, and Commonwealth Games champion Emmanuel Eseme. The 21-year-old has enjoyed a breakthrough season, breaking Olushoji Fashuba's long-standing Nigerian record with 9.84 seconds and claiming 2 Diamond League victories already. And now let's turn your attention to football. Cristantus Uche has completed successful surgery on a serious knee injury. The Getafe and Super Eagles midfielder underwent the operation in Lyon after suffering the injury in a preseason friendly against Monaco. The procedure went as planned, and he has now begun rehabilitation. Uche is expected to miss the entire 2026-2027 season. He has thanked the medical team, his club, and supporters for their backing during the recovery process. And now let's talk tennis. Nick Kyrgios has been provisionally suspended from tennis after testing positive for cocaine. The Australian provided a sample at the Mallorca Championships in June that later returned a positive result for a cocaine metabolite. The International Tennis Integrity Agency confirmed the provisional ban has been in place since early August. Kyrgios has not appealed the decision. In the statement, the 31-year-old admitted he made a huge mistake and took full responsibility. He apologized to fans, family, and especially young supporters while saying he will step away from public life to focus on himself. And now, still talking tennis, 2-time US Open singles champion Venus Williams has received a wildcard entry into this year's tournament. And this was revealed by organizers on Tuesday. Venus and Serena also returned to doubles action for the first time since 2022 on Monday, suffering an opening round defeat at the Cincinnati Open. Meanwhile, Sloane Stephens, the 2017 US Open winner, was also among those granted a wild card on Monday. The 33-year-old is trying to make a comeback after a foot injury derailed a 2025 season. And now some news now in football. Bayern Munich forward Jamal Musiala has revealed is suffering from treatable absence seizures caused by a neurological dysfunction. The Germany international collapsed for a second time in 4 days following a friendly. He stressed there's no additional health risk and he has medical clearance to continue playing. We're set to call it a wrap this evening, but before we do that, Atletico Madrid will begin their La Liga campaign and home to newly promoted side Malaga tonight. Diego Simeone's side will look to make a strong start at the Metropolitano. Malaga returned to the top flight after winning promotion through the playoffs and will face a tough test against the established side. The match is going to kick off at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Thanks for being part of RBN Sport today. I'm Sheyi Bamshile. Join us next time. Good evening.
My brother, see road now. If na Lagos na traffic, we don't do. No go anywhere. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, na city gate be this. Where you go see before you enter Abuja. If you enter Abuja and you never see this city gate, my brother, na Cameroon you dey. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. My brother, Abuja life too soft. After work like this, now here I dey sit down. Then they see fine things that will be sonorous in my spirit. Now why I love Abuja with this? Unity for inside the diversity. Now within they take no Abuja for. Now why I love Abuja? You see this place my back? Luxury on another level. You feel the waka inside. You don't know who you go meet who will change your life. My brother, this is why I love Abuja. But the real reason will make me like Abuja. Now because of real 99.3, where if you say, who they choke out on top of real talk, and really people, and all of us go gather together to make for choke out on top of really matter.